In my workflow, for example, I also install Apollo, which I use for enriching the emails and finding the email of people. So you can connect all of the connectors which you need for this very specific task. Once you have done this, Claude, in this task which we were seeing, let me go back up to the top of the task, will be able to run through this entire process by himself. So we see that, for example, here in this chart, he has used the connector here with Apify, with Apollo, with my personal Chrome. It goes through Apify, identified by himself, so without the need of me telling you which actor I want to use. It finds the best actor. It goes through the post. It finds 82 commenters on that specific post. And then it goes through the process of extracting all of those information. And then he found 68 individual commenters, 11 company page, 2 self-comment by Ruben, the author of the post himself. And then it tells me, hey, each row, it goes through telling me all of what he has done. And then he proposed next step. In this case, I want to run an enrichment. So I want to find additional information using another connector, Apollo, which is another tool I use in my tech stack. You don't need to do this, but if you want to find the email, the role of that person, Apollo is a really good way to do this. Then I tell him, yes, go ahead, use Apollo. And without me needing to do basically anything, it goes through Apollo, use my account in Apollo, which I have previously authenticated, which is really, really simple, and it enrich all of these people. And basically the result, then I will stop. There are some more steps to this if you want to do it more sophisticated, but it creates a list of people, the headline, the profile URL, the comment they have left. And then if you want to go one step further, and it's something which I usually do, is, hey, I also want you to, for example, craft, tell me if they are in ICP or not, based on a specific product. And I paste here my specific product. And then I tell him also, I'm going to give you a database of people which I worked with in the past, which took my courses in the past. Check if these people match with the ICP which I have defined and with my past customers. And Claude by himself open a page, goes through my course database page, which is when I run the courses on Maven, is able to access it using a browser extension and check through all of the information about those people as well. So it will use those information to actually provide a better response and give me a better output for this specific task. It does all of this just by prompting. It's just about defining a process and giving access to the right tool so that this can really do a good job. And basically the final output is, hey, I have a CSV and an Excel with the ICP fit, the ranking. I ask him to rank it from 1 to 5 based on how much in fit with that specific description of my ICP and specific course which I gave, and it gives me all of these in a CSV file. What I could do next is I'm going to also ask him to basically craft an outreach message to tell them, I saw you commented here, why don't you come to my workshop next week, which is exactly on the same topic. Okay. And it's, I tell him to personalize based on what they comment, and it returns the ideal message for these people. The 55, hey, I saw you comment on this post that the frustration comes from not using the features properly. Is exactly the gap I work on. I'm doing a workshop next week talking exactly about this, right? So a soft CTA, something that would work well on LinkedIn, and I'm basically just gonna use this message to reach out and invite them to my workshop. Sorry, I know I talked a lot. I just wanted to give you the perspective. Let's give some room for Q&A.
Yeah, please drop some questions below. One question I have is I think a lot of questions that I have watching these types of workshop is how much of this is instructional versus how much of this do you actually use? Are you using a workflow similar to this for your own growth?
Yes. For this, yes, this is actually something I use in my day-to-day because this really helps me when I have a workshop to get the right people to come. Okay, so when I have a workshop which is not getting organic traction, I run this. I go to big profile in the iSpace, and I was like, okay, this speak to. Well, okay, I'm doing a workshop on skill. I'm gonna look for someone speaking about skill, and I'm gonna just invite them. I'm not gonna try and sell something. Hey, join my course, pay $600, but I'm going through. Okay, I'm gonna go with a very soft CTA, and generally people enjoy coming to this session, right? If I explain how to do this for free, why not? Eventually, some of them convert to the course, but this is something I actually use. And how you do this is when you finish this process, or once you do it and you do it multiple times, instead of just doing it every time like this, you would create a skill, right? So if you go to the customize section, in the skill section, I have LinkedIn comment lead pipeline, which describe exactly this process. And instead of going through it, I just need to tell him, hey, Claude, run the LinkedIn comment pipeline for this new post, which I have. right? Instead of going through them, I defined a skill that tells him, this is how I want you to do this specific task. You will understand I want to use the skill, and it will go through the process and will just give me the output, which is the Excel list. Okay, so you don't need to go through all of the process. I'm ready to run the command lead pipeline. I need to paste the URL, right? I'm not going to do it because it takes a lot of time and we wouldn't have time to see it.